Do the Dolphins win a playoff game this year? Obviously, Mike McDaniel on the hot seat. Do they get into the
Yeah,
playoffs? And then if so, do they win
they
one?
released Mostert and a couple other people
Tyreek's like
too.
year to year.
Tyreek has 1 year left, I
Well,
think.
Tua's like snap to snap.
Oh God, nice.
Welcome back to the Schlabcast, everybody. How's everybody doing? We got the whole gang back.
Gang's back together, baby.
Ev-
2025.
Everything that has happened pretty much before free agency now doesn't matter. So I love football again.
Clean slate.
Actually, what we were gonna do for this episode is continuation of last episode, Caleb. So we're gonna do our top 10 memories of the Eagles season to cap off
Okay.
that historic season. So it's
I
you
could I could
next.
You
give you
want to
my
open it
top
up?
If you
three.
wanna.
Yeah, in my work league, I bought Saquon with the 21st pick in our
Auction draft?
auction. Yeah, I kept just wanting to say one of those ones with the money, but yeah, auction draft in a really big just keeper league. I traded up for him and got him for kind of cheap. I have him in our dynasty league right now.
On the
So
trade block, I will say.
yeah, yeah, he is. And I know you're
Yikes.
interested, but I will say the play
King's
where he
ransom.
jumped backwards over the guy was awesome. That was sweet.
That's got to be the number one play of the year,
Yeah, that
I
was just
think.
like
Just
so
overall,
sick.
For
maybe.
real. Yeah.
Right?
And he had so many like 60-yard runs like in the third and fourth quarters that would either they'd take a lead or they would solidify a league. And he
Yeah.
was just an unreal player last year. So I think
Yeah.
you could just have a top 10 of just Saquon moments outside of everybody else too.
Seriously. I mean, and I knew the player we were getting, but the thing I was surprised about is like you said about his long speed and all those 60-yard runs. You don't really remember those at the Giants, maybe in his rookie year.
Mhm.
And
Even
then,
even then, he was not running multiple 60-yarders week to week to week,
yeah.
and finding the end zone.
Definitely a
But yeah,
historic season.
if you want to extend a little bit, you and your little gnome, you can go right for it, man.
No, it's okay. I'll take that. I'll tell from Mr. Cowboys fan. Anyway, this episode, I know there's like been a lot going on. I just figured just a rapid fire,
Oh
maybe like the
yeah,
biggest question for each team, what we just think, and maybe just if we have a solution, what we think. Did you guys have
love it.
anything else you wanted to mention
Let's get right
this
into it.
season? Recording this on Saturday, March 8th. Free agency does start on Monday, but a lot of things, as we know, have already been kind of in place, but
Mhm.
nothing is on the dotted line until Monday. It's going to go crazy. Starting the AFC North, Bengals, their Jamar Chase extension looming. T. Higgins right now franchise tag. Trey Hendrickson, the leading sack leader last year, given an option to seek a trade. What do you guys think about all that?
Man, I mean, Jamar is a top two or three receiver in the league, so you have to keep him. But when it comes to everybody else, I understand tag and T, but I don't know if you need to keep him like really long term. You
Yeah.
can probably draft at that position, but Hendrickson is probably someone you need to invest in just because that position is a premium.
I say pay Chase, get what you can for Hendrickson if he already wants a trade, and T. Higgins probably gone next year. But run it back. You got Chase for a long time. You can get one of them, but not both.
Yeah, I think I agree. I agree with all your sentiment. Yeah, obviously we want to keep Chase. He's the number one. Would love to keep T. They really have that dual combo threat. It looks like he might leave. And then Trey Hendrickson, yeah, if you can keep him, you can, but he might get traded. Steelers, we'll just move right on. What to do at quarterback right now? Reports say they favor Justin Fields over Russell Wilson. It's almost more likely just Fields or the field, I guess, other than Russell Wilson. But what do you guys think? What should they do?
I say they sign Fields. Wilson signed somewhere else.
Yeah, they should have just kept rolling with Fields anyway. The locker room was way behind him too. He just needs a little bit more time, and the AFC North might take a significant dip next year, so why not?
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, Young, he's probably get a pretty favorable deal considering all the other quarterbacks. So yeah, I say roll with him too. It looks like the Jets are interested in him as well, so they might make a run. Browns, right now the biggest thing is Myles Garrett. Browns ownership looks like they're at a huge standstill right now. Myles Garrett's still under contract, but he just wants to leave. He feel like he's done his time in that organization. He's just not going to win. So he wants out. Browns are firm. They're not going to move. Myles Garrett willing to miss games. How do you think this ends?
Get
Uh,
pretty sloppy for the Browns, but ideally the Cowboys give up two firsts and 2 seconds and get him. So
yeah, I think they'll take any picks they can get at this point if people are willing to give up picks for him. Defensive players are getting traded worth nothing nowadays, I feel like. So he is a, once in a lifetime player. I think people will bid. Did they say that they restructured Deshaun's deal somehow?
I think
I
so.
heard
To be honest, I
yeah,
didn't really look into that. Do you know
be
more?
less of a cap hit. I'm pretty sure that happened. So they did make some money but it's it's all guaranteed, but they could just still made it like more signing bonus, whatever, blah blah, make it go away like they did with Dak and CeeDee Lamb. I think he will sit out if he's not gone before the season. And the Browns won't win more than 4 or 5 games. I say they bring back Jameis Winston as their best solution, honestly, moving forward. I can't believe I'm saying that, but honestly, as a joke, but halfway not a joke.
Yeah, no, I agree what you're saying. Like, just his personality too. It's like it just fits what they need. Like you said, just from what they had to deal with,
He'll take anything.
he just brings a good
they
vibe.
just need a
A good,
fanciful dreamland.
Just catch a W, eat it. Yeah. All right, moving on. That's enough
um,
time on the
Yeah, that's
Browns.
way more Browns talk
Raven,
than
Yeah.
Ravens. It looks like it's Mark Andrews' last game. One,
Shocker.
actually, for this.
Shocker there.
Oh
Did
yeah,
not go well there, buddy. Catch the ball.
what a way to end your
Yeah.
career if that's your last game. Do you guys have anything for them?
just can they
They'll be great again. They'll win a bunch of games, be
I,
in the line for a top seed.
I think it's just kind of similar with the Bills though. It's like they always do well in the regular season, but come playoff time, it's just taking that next
Yeah.
step.
yeah, they could be the number 1 seed.
No
They've
big
had a
looming
couple of
questions.
seasons in a row where they don't get off to a good start to start the regular season and they fall behind and have to just like pick up the pieces. And next year, I think a lot of these AFC powerhouse teams are going to take a little bit of a dip. So they could just, take the first seed outright and just kind of hang on to it for a majority of the season.
All
Let's
right.
start. All right, AFC North. We're moving right along. NFC North. So Vikings, a big one here. So JJ McCarthy is on his way back. Sam Darnold is kind of like in limbo. They said there's a possibility, even despite how he played last year, that he might not be on a team, only because ideally want to roll with JJ McCarthy. So they don't want to overpay Darnold if their plan is to stick with McCarthy. At the same time, Darnold wants to be paid for his play last year, so he's not just going to take some simple deal. So, what do you guys think the Vikings are going to do? What should they do?
Darnold cost himself like tens of millions with like the last couple games last year. I think they move on from him. I think he's a guy that could wind up in some of these places where it's a little unsure where some of these other like veteran quarterbacks like Rodgers and Stafford are going to end up. So I think he just kind of falls in line with all that. And he drafted McCarthy for a reason. Got to start rolling with him.
True that. Respect what Darnold did. Hopefully he proved enough to sign somebody, I don't know, maybe a Seattle or somebody like that, looking to get somebody on a 1 year deal or tryout or I do think they go with McCarthy if he's ready. Unfortunately, miracle season for Sam Darnold. But who knows? We'll come back to this. This is a big circle back one in a
For
week,
sure.
and we'll see. He could sign Monday for a year or two with the Vikings. We didn't see Kirk Cousins going to Atlanta last year, and we're going to circle back to that. So
True. And
let's
I
for
don't
yeah.
remember exactly where I heard this, but I also heard that the Vikings was a potential Rodgers and Devontae Adams landing spot, but I doubt that.
and that would be continuing on that Brett Favre trajectory.
That,
How crazy
Wow.
would that be?
Yeah. Okay.
man, they both
Wow.
have
Yeah.
scandals and everything too. This is awesome.
All right, I also agree. I think if he's healthy, obviously, I think just move on with McCarthy and then use that money elsewhere. Okay, Bears didn't really have a specific question. So the moves they made early on was that they already traded two of their picks, I believe, 2026, but for starting guard Jonah Jackson and for Joe Tooney, who was most recently in the Super Bowl from the Chiefs. So they're already adding weapons to their O-line. They have Ben Johnson as a new head coach. How do you guys feeling about that team? They have the 10th overall pick, I believe. You think they continue building the trenches, or you think they go for a weapon there? Possible running back?
They have the 10th pick. They still have a lot of needs, but they have been really active. And they've been a team that hasn't been afraid to trade up or down. So I bet they'd move around a little bit during the draft too.
It's true.
Lost a lot of close games. You know, Caleb Williams did have some magical moments for sure. You know, they lost that Hail Mary game and it was all kind of downhill from there.
True that.
And they lost so many games. It was like they were the Chargers, you know. I feel like, you know, they lost so many games at the last second. If they're smart, they keep building around. I think Ben Johnson's good pickup. You got to be excited about them getting O-line pieces already. I say, yeah, keep building, get a weapon, or if, you know, best player available, make a deal, whatever. Like you said, they can move around.
Yeah, I like it. Maybe do something similar to what you did in Detroit with Gibbs and Montgomery. And yeah, for all the hate that Caleb Williams did get last year, I think he will take a jump this
Yeah.
year. And he did
That
show
was
flashes, like you said.
That was best player available in Detroit, right? They're like, why the hell would they take Gibbs? They just got Montgomery like a
Yeah,
year before. Like that, okay, well, proved us wrong. They've looked great
yeah.
for 2 years now. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Let's see.
Packers.
Josh Jacobs a few weeks ago had mentioned that they need a wide receiver one, and then a lot of their receivers, Dobbs, Wicks, they all took that personally. They laughed it off. What do you guys think? Do you think he's right?
Yeah.
I think it would help for sure. Yeah.
This
Love
is
to
a
prove that he's
I,
real.
I think the Packers find a way to at least get in the DK Metcalf conversation.
Oh, interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, good pick. Good call.
Just because I think they have some cap space. I don't have any, I need to pull up the numbers for everybody, but they could probably pay him and work out some, just like, I don't know, capital or something. Plus, they do have some receivers they can send Seattle's way too. They can
Yeah,
package up one or two of those guys easy.
that's a good one. Okay, I agree too.
And that'll annoy the shit out of me if that happens.
Yeah.
I agree with that too. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Lions, again, like these ones, some of these teams right now, Lions, Ravens, Bills, they're all on the cusp. So I didn't really have anything specific, but it's like, what do you think their biggest need to get over the hump? I guess last year they just did so well when the injuries depleted them and then they just tanked against the Commanders completely.
Biggest question mark for the Lions is can you recover losing both your coordinators?
There you go. There you
I
go.
would say just like, you know, Eagles a couple years ago,
Definitely.
whatever,
Yep. Yep.
great your guys moved on to be head coaches, but can these guys come in and have success right away? Can Goff be the same guy? Obviously, Dan Campbell's going to be the same guy for them, but can those both sides of the ball perform at that elite level again? I think they'll be fine, but something to look out for.
Yeah, they could just pound again next year and it wouldn't really catch anybody by surprise. So you can't really let one or two games define the whole season. They were really good for a lot of it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
AFC South.
All right, Titans, number one overall pick right now. Early March, what do you think? What would you do? They don't have a
Uh,
quarterback, but is the quarterback worth it?
no.
This class
Will
isn't
Levis
good.
is not worth it. Oh yeah, dude, take the Miami guy. I like him.
Cam Ward.
Cam Ward, or you take Shador or Cam Ward?
No, I'm not
Um,
taking Shador. I'm taking Cam Ward.
Cam Ward, Travis Hunter,
Yeah.
I would take
Ah,
Abdul Carter, but
or Abdul Carter?
I don't
when you
know.
draft, it's like
Tennessee's
get their quarterback and protect your quarterback. So he's obviously just a proven commodity. Travis Hunter, I think, is interesting, but we'll see what his size is like when he actually has to get out there against some
Yeah,
is he
like
gonna play
kid.
both sides? Is
we'll
that for
see.
reals?
We'll
No,
see.
I think he's going to be a corner, but we'll
Okay.
see.
Yeah, we'll see. You never know. If you obviously feel so strongly about Cam Ward, you do it. Otherwise, go get Aaron Rodgers and draft Travis Hunter. I don't know.
I
I
guess
don't know. I
that's
just like the
that's
thought of
a
like,
decision too. Who knows?
I don't know. Okay, where we get Texans,
Texans.
most recently traded for Christian Kirk. Tank
I think we
Dell
all like that.
had a huge injury. Stephon Diggs, is he out? Is he coming back? How are we feeling the
I would
Texans?
say Diggs is probably out. He's gonna probably want too much money that they're going to want to give him coming off of ACL. I think Kirk for a seventh is great. They need some more help for CJ. I don't think Dell will be back anytime soon. But they need some O-line help. He was getting rushed bad, so I want to see a couple signings there. They got Mixon on contract, I think, for a few more years, which is good. But yeah, need to get maybe another receiver, bigger tight end or something, maybe help block. Diggs, I think, is gone. That's my consensus.
Yeah.
That's just so surprising, but that's the league.
Yeah, and he was doing so well with them early on
I
before
know.
that injury.
Yeah.
He was like I thought Tank Dell was gonna continue from his like connection with CJ Stroud and Stephon Diggs completely took over.
I think Dell just had surgery on Wednesday too, or like another one.
Yeah. For his ACL. He already had the ligaments and knee like repaired, but this one was to repair his ACL, the final surgery.
Wow,
So
that's
yeah,
that's
he's a
just
while
brutal.
away still. Yeah, I mean number one, two receivers that was like going in last year. So if both of those guys are gone, that's definitely going to be interesting for and they fired their OC.
There you go.
So
Yeah. Just for continuity's sake too,
yeah,
learn a new
CJ's got to
playbook
learn a
too.
new playbook too, and some new receivers. So we'll
Mhm.
see. Out
Mhm.
of that sophomore slump year, so we'll see what they can do. I think they got a good team. It's still their division to lose, considering what the hell all the other teams in this division are doing. It's just hilarious.
Yeah,
So
speaking of in Duval.
yeah, what a great
Yeah.
transition.
Yeah, so they're what they
Bonehead franchise of the year for sure.
so he said they traded Christian Kirk. They released Mitch Morse, center, released Evan Ingram.
Why release Evan Ingram?
It was funny Trevor Lawrence was doing like three goodbye posts on X in the same day to all his teammates.
Jeez. See ya. Not surprised they're gonna clean house. I'm sure what's his face, psycho guy's gonna want to do everything he wants to do his way, and they got the young new Rams guy that looks like he has no soul, or sold his soul to the devil to become the two youngest
The
guys in
GM.
Jacksonville, Florida. So I don't know. I bet they don't win more than 5 games. Put that on a stamp and
Yeah.
mail it.
Yeah, they probably got the number one pick next year.
I'm pretty sure I'm older than that Jags GM now. And I swear to God, the first time I saw him and everything, I thought it was like someone had like paced themselves kind of poorly in Photoshop. It's just like they were the GM for that thing and it was just up on Reddit. How do you hire that guy? You can't even look at him and take that seriously. And then he comes in and just wipes everything out without any thought. He probably didn't really ask around or anything too, but it falls under the don't just go the trendy way because wasn't he a part of the like McVeigh
Yeah.
tree and stuff? Just like,
Probably.
and anyone that was like in his coaching tree roughly, like, is supposedly a god or anything. It's like, it's not really how that works, is my
Good luck.
guess.
We'll see.
Bring on up the Colts.
Colts. So their GM openly said they're going to be bringing in open competition this upcoming season for A-Rich. To be honest, like I just thought they handled the whole situation wrong. If you're going to draft him that
So
high
bad.
and then bench him for Flacco, and then
Then
this
the
whole
next
thing.
week he's back.
Then he's
Yeah,
back, and it's
just
just, and then now he comes back, and then you're saying, "Oh, wait, now he's gonna have competition." So I just think it's all been wrong. That's just my opinion. But what do you guys think? Who's the starter week one? A-Rich versus the field.
Anthony Richardson's got to be the quarterback for this team moving forward. Enough said. Move on. Put it to bed.
Maybe you think give him one more year.
I think they don't use him correctly. He should be like having way more just designed runs and like pop passes and things like that.
Like Jalen Hurts,
Yeah, they
built
have
just
him.
like him. Yeah.
They have two really good receivers. They have three really good receivers. I always forget about Pittman. Those guys are pretty versatile. Pierce can kind of be anywhere and he can kind of out jump the whole room. And Pittman's just a great long threat and he can play in the slot. And Josh Downs has just fantastic hands everywhere they plays him to. I don't know why they spend so much time just trying to run all these like different pro offenses for him when he should be just running around a lot more. And that'll open up their run game with
Jonathan
uh
Taylor.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree too. I mean I know his accuracy has been a little iffy. I get it, but like you said, yeah, just use his athleticism to your advantage. Use his legs. Okay. NFC
Don't worry.
South. Didn't have anything specific. All I just know is that considering they're one of the bottom teams
Everything's
and they
gonna be.
have negative 38 million in the cap, which is the worst. I just thought that was really bad. Something to note.
Everyone in this division is a mess. The Bucks should just be running away with this division every year, but they can't get out of their own way. The Saints, they just were like a complete like false entity to start out last season and just completely crash and burn. The Panthers aren't doing anything to help themselves. And I don't think the Falcons are doing anything to help themselves either. If
Yeah, he could just sweep through this whole division.
Yeah.
they should just combine to make one super team.
I think, Bryce Young looked good moving forward last year. Let him play. The whole benching thing with that was stupid too,
Yeah.
I think, and handled wrong. You got to let these guys play or let them sit for a whole year. Or if you don't let them sit for a whole year, you got to let them just play and learn. You committed to taking them that early, let them play. I think they'll get better and better moving forward.
Yeah, I agree too. And then, like we said, Penix, he's gonna have his first full season. Of the
Mm.
three, of Young, Penix, and Spencer Rattler, or the Saints, who do you guys think is second best to the Bucks?
I'd probably the Falcons. Falcons
Okay.
have the better defense out of those three. Probably have a little bit of a better just like home field advantage too. Atlanta people love their sports now. They go to everything.
Dude,
I've been there then.
why they are the most question mark franchise to me too. Why draft that guy if you're gonna pay Kirk all that money? It's just like another like Daniel Jones type of thing.
Yeah.
Just it's just a huge mistake. I guess you're owning it, but I like Penix. It just doesn't make any sense
When
last
Kirk
year.
came into the league, it was controversy there too. So it'll just follow him everywhere, wherever he
I
goes.
guess so. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, good point. Oh yeah, Saints moved right past them. Bucks. Anything about the Bucks? Baker's coming back, right? They didn't lose anybody,
They
really.
just lost Liam Cohen.
Good one,
Okay.
Andy.
So that
Oh man, yeah. That's a big boost to their system.
moving right along. Actually, just right before we get into the last four divisions, I don't want to deviate too much, but just really quick thoughts on the optical tracking that'll be taking over for the chain gang this year.
I don't know too
That's
much about
official.
it, but I'm all for trying new things.
If that's official, that's dope. I don't know why it took so long.
It's official this year. I guess the chain gang will be on the sideline in case anything goes wrong.
They should try it, and if it doesn't work, then awesome.
Good times. I remember once, wasn't it that one time where that guy literally pulled out like a card or something? Remember?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was Raiders Cowboys on a Monday night game. We won that game by, the width of a card. No, I remember Carr, I think, fumbled it into the end zone to end the game, and there was a touchback, went back to the Cowboys. They could have won it. But
Uh,
moving on.
fun fact of the day. Okay, moving
Yeah.
right along. AFC East Patriots, they have like 130 million in cap to
Yeah,
use.
by far the most.
They're not paying any of their players. They're what do you guys think? They're waiting to spend it on somebody? They got
Well,
the
they
number
got
three
rid of
overall
their
pick.
coach too.
So what pick do they have? Three
Three.
overall?
I think three.
Interesting.
Don't need
Yeah.
a quarterback.
Uh-huh. Probably defense then.
That could be
They're
really
not
the
gonna
first spot for
do
Hunter.
they're not gonna do Sanders or Hunter unless maybe if he's gonna
Maybe
play
Hunter.
both ways. Yeah.
I just feel like Patriots are just one of those like bleh teams in terms of like playmakers. Like you can't even name one person, I feel like.
Yeah, um,
It's like pretty rare, for
Uh
like a team not to have at least one person. Like,
Douglas? Is that a
yeah.
guy?
And he's really more like a wide receiver two or three, in my opinion.
Yeah. Couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
Kendrick
there you go.
Bourne. That's
Like,
who plays for them.
No idea.
yeah.
That's the name.
So maybe give him Travis Hunter. They need give them some excitement, for the fans.
Yes.
Um,
Okay.
Moving on down the road. That's
Yeah.
enough.
Jets, Aaron Rodgers out for a while. It looked like they might roll with Tyrod Taylor. Now it says they have interest in Justin Fields. Who do you think their week one starter is?
Ooh. Yeah.
There.
Hi. How about those TPS reports? I think that it's gonna be, say Zach Wilson. Kirk Cousins?
They got a
I
new
don't
head
know. Who
coach.
who would even want to go play there? Mac Jones? Who's available? You know?
Um, Sam
Jeez.
Darnold.
Slim
Uh,
pickings out there, man.
he-
Darnold go back to the Jets? I guess it could happen.
I think they could land Sanders because they have the 7 pick, and especially since the Raiders took Geno, and if they're set on having him, I don't think they're gonna draft someone at 6 at that point. So they could do that. Who knows what happens with Devontae as well, or is he gone?
I think
He's
he's
gone and
gone.
is getting
Okay,
released.
yeah,
Yeah,
um,
I think he wants to follow Rodgers basically wherever
which is
he's watching. Get the package.
could just go
Jeez.
play with Carr.
Good luck to those guys. Good for about 5 wins
Yeah,
Yeah. Any other ideas? Quarterback?
combined.
Jets? Yeah, I think actually the Sanders one is a good one. I didn't really think about that, but I could see that being a Sanders and being in New York. I could see that.
yeah, just not the New York you were thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Move along. You guys have anything else?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
Yeah.
Dolphins. I didn't have anything specific. I just said, do the Dolphins win a playoff game this year? Obviously, Mike McDaniel on the hot seat. Do they get into the
Yeah.
playoffs? And then if so, do they win
They
one?
released Mostert and a couple other people.
Tyreek's like
Too.
year to year.
Tyreek has 1 year left, I
Well,
think.
Tua's like snap to snap.
Oh God, nice. Yeah, good luck. I say they do not win a playoff game. McDaniels is fired.
McDaniels is so
Sorry.
God.
Yeah,
What a
overrated.
he's a
Just
30 for
just
30.
yeah.
So,
It's like they have that meme where it's like 1 day listening to this band, like 7 days listening to this band, 30 days listening, 3 years listening. And it's just
yeah.
like McDaniels, 4 years into being a head coach, looks
Yeah.
insanely different than the day one McDaniels. You're gonna have to put those memes up in this video, Andy, to help me explain that better. But I don't know. I don't believe in it. I think it's all or nothing for them this
Yeah.
year.
I don't think they win a playoff game. If they do, it's because they have a home game to start off the playoffs, and I don't think they're gonna win that division.
Be honest, or I drank the Kool-Aid rather early on when he was hired because they looked flashy, they looked pretty creative, but just overall, it just seemed they couldn't beat any really good teams. They just didn't seem like that tough. They couldn't play in cold weather. I don't know, just yeah,
Yeah.
They don't have too much
they
depth.
just
They're kind of a one trick thing. The Mostert Achane like split back setup just never panned out how they wanted it to this season as well, or this past season.
yeah. Okay, moving along. You guys have anything for the Bills?
I would say McDermott should be on the hot seat at this point. Great coach, but gotta have something to show for it soon, or else this is just gonna be another Philip Rivers situation, and you're just wasting Josh's career. What do you think, Andy? They're a playoff team. How do they make the jump
They
over
have
the Chiefs and the Ravens?
Yeah, I think you said it right there. How did they make the jump? But how did they beat them? I think in a way, like the Eagles gave you the blueprint how to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So
Just have an
We talked about
offensive
it.
line that should
You,
be in the NBA.
you just and then you just gotta get to Mahomes.
the trenches, yeah. That's how the Bucks beat him actually too. Obviously, they had Brady, but their defensive line was consistently after Mahomes.
When Denver almost beat them, they were just constantly beating the shit out of Mahomes and that offensive line. But they really just had a culture of
and
winning. But
and put
we
up
can talk about
points.
them in a little
Put up
bit.
points. You got to put up a shit ton of points. And the Bills can do that. They have a good defense. I think they can. They're right there. We doubted them last offseason when they didn't really do anything but lose pieces, and they look great all year. I wouldn't put it past them to be right back in the thick of things.
Hmm.
All right,
Moving on.
moving on. NFC East, Cowboys.
Cowgirl Caleb
He knows I exist, and that's okay.
Mhm.
sure does.
So they did re-sign Odigizua, which was like oh my God, please at least do this, Jerry, move, and they did. And they signed him for like a fine deal. I think he's like the ninth or tenth highest paid defensive lineman now or something in the league. Kind of looks like Brandon Cooks is going to leave because he's just not happy with how he's being used. But with the whole coaching overhaul and everything, he might be used differently, but I would think they get rid of him and look elsewhere. But I have heard from multiple places, and I saw on NFL Network too, that Cowboys might target Aaron Jones, which I don't really want to draft Genty. My main reason is because he ran a lot of yards. He looks like he has NFL speed, I suppose, but he played college football on a blue field against,
Mm.
like Hawaii. So he wasn't playing the greatest competition and all that. So,
Good point. Yep.
and they need a lot. So I hope they find a way to trade back or they go after an offensive lineman now that Zach Martin's retired. But the whole Micah Parsons saga, Jerry's not going to let him go. He will pay him a bunch of money just because of Micah being such a pull for fans and everything. So I don't think he leaves at all. But should we go get Miles Garrett? Absolutely. And pair them up. They could be best buds. They could podcast together too. We could have them on. They could have us on. It'd be awesome.
Pretty great.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
unless Howie Roseman gets him for a third.
I don't know how you guys are gonna do that. You guys are one of the lower cap teams, like finally. So
Yeah, we are in the lower one, but
yeah.
we'll see. We're gonna be losing some people. Yeah, to touch on the Cowboys, I thought Osa was a good one. I do think Micah gets done. I thought it would get done sooner rather than later, though. We'll see
They
on
did
that.
Dak the first day of the season. Jerry's on his own timeline.
I did see Michael Gallup is like coming out of retirement too.
Jeff will draft him in the 13th.
Love it. Great.
All right,
Eagles.
Eagles, Super Bowl
Eagles.
champs. Should we all
Man,
just sing the Fly Eagles Fly theme song right now? Boom,
surprised
boom,
you don't
boom,
have it
boom,
already
boom.
queued up.
We will in the video
All
for
right.
sure.
Of
How
course,
you open the store every day.
my question: can the Eagles repeat? And of course, the answer is they could.
Yeah.
But will they? I mean, obviously it's very hard to repeat. I will say though, what I do like is just the mentality, just different, I feel like, for the Eagles, even though I may sound biased. But with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown and Devontae, they just all have this unselfish attitude and this heavy drive to win and be great and not satisfied with one. So we'll see. We are going to lose a handful of pieces. We're going to lose Milton Williams, Sweat, who are huge in our Super Bowl. Had a lot of sacks, but we just can't afford all of them. We resigned Bond, which was huge. We don't usually pay for linebackers, but that guy was crucial. He was a Defensive Player of the Year nominee.
Yeah.
Gave Saquon a little bit bump. That one was more of like a generous thing. Didn't have to do that, but for everything that he did for us, I feel like he deserves it.
And you lock him down for 3 years rather than just taking him. What wouldn't have been a contract year? He only signed a 2-year deal originally, right?
I think it might have been a
Yeah.
3-year deal, or was it 2 year?
I think it was
I
only
thought it was
two.
two.
Two. Okay, so he
So
was.
you like immediately take that out of the question as well, saying like, no, we thank you. Yes, stay.
Is AJ Brown really is there like trade talks about him?
They always bring him up, to be honest, but I think it's just, I don't know how to explain it. They like to just create drama, and
He
he's the
just
one that
demands
makes the most
talk.
sense too,
Yeah.
of all of them.
Okay. It's like
Um,
Micah.
yeah, I think it is more overblown than anything. And Jalen and AJ are very close friends. They've had their little moments together, but yeah.
Yeah, Giants.
Giants. So speaking of, how is their GM not even fired already? Hard Knocks. They even canceled that because they said no NFL teams wanted to do it anymore because of the whole Saquon saga and just seeing how embarrassed that
The
organization was.
greatest memes of all time.
How do you guys feel about them? Interest in Aaron Rodgers?
Well, Rogers said he'd go play there too. And really, if both head coach and GM know that they just have a year left, they'll just swing at who can I get that can win now and just make me look the best for my next job. But Hard Knocks was dumb. Who cares if that's gone? I watched a couple seasons of that, but it got so like fake dramatic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like obviously like kind of scripted for what it needed to be, but I digress. If stupid Mike McCarthy had been fired earlier, the Giants might have reached out to try to get him to coach, but he was let go so late into the process that that's why he's just going to take a year off to have some sabbatical type of thing. But
He did that between Green Bay and Dallas as well.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure he didn't get hired right away. He took a
yeah,
year off.
like who would you hire outside of Daybell? He's just kind of the
What a
The
joke.
best fit for right now. That whole team's a mess though. Like
What an absolute joke.
take
Yeah,
Everything
you're on there
about it.
in total.
the New York jokes.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Should we move
Yeah,
on? Oh, go ahead,
yeah.
Jeff. Go ahead,
No,
Jeff. Go.
no, no. Oh, I mean,
Sorry, go
what's
ahead,
there
Jeff.
to say? What's there to say? Sure, get Aaron Rodgers, win 4 games, have fun. Go ahead. He'll probably
Four.
play in 2 of them.
Hold on, I gotta see who
Uh,
they play next year.
they're playing 2 playoff teams twice, plus the Cowboys twice, so that's not great.
Well, yeah, it's already pretty bad, but
That's four
And
losses right there.
that's what I'm
Ca-
saying, maybe 6 even. So,
so they're
yeah,
gonna be also at Bears, Broncos, Lions, Raiders, Patriots, Saints.
Those are all losses. Maybe the Saints is a win.
yeah.
They play at
We should
home
just do over
again.
under how many games until the guy gets fired.
I
They're
mean, I thought it was last year.
you
Yeah,
want to hear just all their they might lose every home game. So they have obviously their three division games, right? Cowboys, Eagles, Commanders, but then Packers, Vikings, Chiefs, Chargers, Niners.
Yikes.
yikes.
They might lose every home
Yeah.
game.
So good luck with that. Commanders.
Commanders traded a
What a
fifth.
season.
The
What a
fifth
season.
round pick for Debo was a steal.
Yeah. I would
He's
I
got to
would
stay
give them
healthy,
a good
but man,
clap. Great season, Jaden Daniels. Can he
Yeah.
build on that? Or will it be a CJ sophomore slump situation? Build around him. Yeah, they're kind of doing the same thing. Got him a good receiver for a mid-round pick.
Yeah. Brought good old Zach Ertz back.
1 year deal, right? Yeah.
All
Man, remember
just
reliable.
a couple of years
reliable.
ago, we would be like, man, poor Zach Ertz over there in Washington. Now, like
Yeah.
last year, he's like going to the playoffs,
He was a savior for
winning
them.
games. Yeah, big time. So cool for him. I
Dan
don't think they
Quinn,
win as many games. I don't know. They had a couple of lucky wins, like the Chiefs
I
last year.
think uh, I think Dan Quinn definitely won the locker room. So they're gonna have a great off season and everyone's gonna be pretty amped moving forwards. I envision splitting next year with them, just going home and home or whatever, because they do have the worst stadium and field now in the league, hands down. It's just so bad.
Yeah. Maybe with the
Uh,
new ownership, they'll finally do something about that. We'll see.
oh, maybe we'll see. I don't know where you put a new stadium. You'd have to just tear that one down and rebuild, and then where do you play in the meantime?
Yeah, been there, done that,
All
So
right.
when we
not
have
done that.
the Las Vegas Commanders and it's just a split with the just like how the Rams and Chargers are doing. That'd be
Yeah,
sick. Anyway,
All right.
we can move on.
All right. Moving on. AFC West. Raiders just recently traded a third for Geno Smith.
They've been busy.
Yeah, they were offered Geno and DK for Max Crosby.
Yeah,
How do you
when
feel?
you said that, like I'll say it here. He's a generational player, just anyway. One of the like faces that will just always be in like Raiders lore, and you can't trade him for Geno Smith.
And DK.
So if that's a
it's
real
like
thing,
trading
that's
Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis. And Max Christie, like, yeah, okay. It's Luka Doncic, though.
yeah. I don't know what you'd have to give up for Max Crosby. He's like an untouchable almost. But
Yeah. I
anyway, a third for Gino's great. He's definitely a serviceable quarterback. He's head and shoulders better than what they've had the past 2 seasons. Could do a lot with like Trey Tucker and some of those other younger coming up. And like such a big help for Brock Powers. And he was already like the best tight end last year.
Yeah,
as a
really good
rookie.
point.
But like I said earlier, since they did that with Gino, I think they pass on Shadier. I don't think Brady really wants all that media attention on an unproven dude from, again, these schools are not like Colorado historically has not been playing the greatest competition. He doesn't have the resume that you would want for a top 10 quarterback. So
I just mentioned it because Shador is signed to Tom Brady's like TB12,
his brand,
his brand,
Yeah.
yeah. But who knows how much power or sway. But yeah, the Geno Smith probably changes it now.
yeah.
Anything else, Jeff?
No, I'm
Okay.
good.
All right, we'll just kind of quick through these. The Chiefs franchise tag Trey Smith. He was actually the only other franchise tag aside from the T. Higgins.
Interesting.
So will the Chiefs make it to Super Bowl 60?
Yeah.
Chiefs versus the
Fucking
field.
no. No, they won't. They will not. I think the Chargers
Bills,
and the
Ravens.
Broncos are going to give them just a huge fit to for who wins that division next year because the Chiefs are losing some guys, and we still don't really know what Travis Kelce's going to do. And if he goes, that's just like a
He's
page is
staying.
turning on that
He's staying one more year.
franchise. Huh?
He said he's staying.
Oh,
He's coming back. He's coming back.
then I take it back. But I think they had kind of a Cinderella year. I really think they caught the Bills on just a terrible week. The Bills, I'm still kind of surprised they lost to them in the playoffs, but I think the Chargers and the Broncos could both finish about same record wise, 9-7 area. So
I could see
we'll
that.
see. The Chiefs are going to have some fall off, though, in my opinion.
Anything else,
Let's
Jeff?
hope they do. Let's hope they do. I don't picture the Chargers and those guys winning a ton of games, but I do think they'll be more competitive. I don't think the Chiefs will win 15 games again, for sure. Won a bunch of those last second games.
All right.
Moving into the Chargers, what
Go
kind
ahead.
of next step can they take following a pretty embarrassing playoff loss there?
For sure. Yeah. And then it looks like they're losing their edges, Bosa, Mac, probably a few other pieces too.
There's probably not very many San Diego Chargers left on that team.
Mm.
No, definitely not.
Those
That
those
may have
two are,
been the end. Bosa,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure, was the last
Oh,
number
really?
one pick, I would say.
Any
I
question for them?
think, I mean, they're losing some guys, but they were playing the systems that they were trying to put in all year were finally clicking at the end of the season. I mean, I think just having another year with everyone together with Harbaugh's gonna pay some dividends.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think quarterback situation is better with Harbaugh. Obviously, him and Herbert have a good thing going. That they'll just keep building on that. Defense is great with James and everybody. Just can they sustain losing those two big guys with Mac and Bosa? That's a lot of stats to fill.
So
Yeah,
we'll just rapid fire through this. Broncos obviously had a
100%.
really great year due to Bo Nix as a rookie quarterback really showing out. Do you think he takes that next step? Kind of similar to Jaden Daniels. What do you guys
I
think? Do you
I
think
think so. I think he's awesome. He's got
Yeah,
some swag too.
you still put
be
Jaden
interesting
above
to
him?
see. Definitely put Jaden above. Bo did a lot of good things though. See if they can keep it going. They're a young team too.
Him and Judy were
And
really connecting.
yeah, it looked like there was some things starting to click for them for sure. I'm not sure they were worthy of the playoffs last year, 100%.
Yeah,
They
lo-
kind of snuck their way in with Bengals kind of fumbling the ball early.
totally.
But I do think they can make some noise, especially if the Chiefs weaker. It's definitely Chiefs division to lose, but there's some cracks, that these other teams can sneak in. All right, moving on to
Okay.
the other West.
Yep. Okay. 49ers lose Debo, like we said. Ayuk still on IR. He possibly could be a trade candidate. Brock Purdy extension looming, so that's going to take a lot of cap. Well, how do you guys feeling about
Yikes.
49ers?
Not looking good in that department. Purdy being cheap, Mr. Window.
Yeah.
IU expensive and hurt now. Debo gone. I still got your defense. Their division is interesting as well. Yeah, a lot of question marks here. We'll see in the next week. This is another circle back team.
Yeah.
Missed the playoffs for the first time in a while. I think they got some work to do, but the division is not unreachable for anyone.
Yeah. Anything else, Caleb?
They're kind of hard to predict just because they go through such a roller coaster every season with their injuries. And I just don't see them really picking up any momentum. They haven't done anything yet really to show that they have improved. So
Yeah,
probably have their window probably closed.
I agree with that too. C-Mac, a year older. They
yeah,
could,
100%.
yeah, they had a few chances. Obviously, unlucky against the Chiefs, I believe, twice. But
Now
yeah,
Purdy's going to be so expensive too. So yeah,
yeah.
Mhm.
it's tough.
Okay, let's keep
Seahawks moving on from Geno.
Gino. Reported interest in Sam Darnold, so we're just playing like dominoes here. Who do you think their QB1 is?
I think they signed someone. I think this is another circle back free agency team. Yeah.
Yeah, play Sam Howell. Why not? He only had like 60 sacks that one season, but that was not his
My
fault.
gosh. Yeah, I saw something that's I saw something that said if they go after Darnold, then the Vikings could just keep Daniel Jones. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Just as a bridge for McCarthy,
Wow.
Oh
because they don't
God.
want to overpay for Darnold. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just yeah.
Jeez,
Yeah.
what a boneheaded move. Wow. This is why teams like that are bad and other teams, are good. It's not that hard, to really make these decisions. How do other people not see that? It's not a smart idea. Like we knew Daniel Jones was a bust years ago. We boffed at them giving him all that money. We even boffed at them giving Gino all that money guaranteed. It's just like I
They
get a
probably know
third
they're
is
moving on.
good. Getting a third back for that is good for what you spent on him, but I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe like a backup. He's had all that starting experience, but he's
Yeah,
not a starter though.
Who's
they
going to want to
probably
sign there though if Metcalf is gone and they already said Lockett's going to be
So
released, so
maybe they'll trade.
it's
Oh, I mean,
definitely a
draft
new
somebody.
team. Big question marks there.
Last two teams, Rams re-signed Stafford, so that was huge. There was a point where he was like the tipping point. If he didn't go
Mhm.
there, he could have gone all sorts of
Anywhere.
places. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he signed, so they lose Cooper Cup, that's for sure. How do you think
Why
LA?
is that for sure? They just have decided they're going to trade him or
Actually,
move on from him?
I should rephrase that. The GM says that nothing is out of the possibility, but it's most likely that he's gone.
Interesting. I think Chargers go further. I think Rams run it back maybe one, last couple time for Stafford, but
I mean,
if something doesn't happen soon there, I think McVay's out or retires or
I mean,
everybody, you clean house,
the Ra-
restart.
they arguably were a few plays away from beating us in that, was it conference game? Yeah, divisional game. And that
Yeah,
snow.
coming back. Yeah,
So,
yeah. When they were out bad, it was not looking good. So McVay's always going to be a good coach. I think they can run it back and get right there,
just kind of circling back, just looking at some stuff with the Rams. I guess the Colts have been kind of shopping around Richardson and have reached out to the Rams about that.
wow.
So just as some random thing. But two places that Cooper Cup could go, he totally could go to the Jags now since
Gross.
they have
Oh, the
that
GM
GM.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
I also saw some like talk of him going to Detroit. He has some familiarity with what's his face there, and I think he'd fit in as just like an extra depth guy to that already pretty stellar offense.
That's true.
Goff,
I just thought
there's
of
his
it
name.
as more like he's a slot primarily, and so is Amon Ra, but I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, that's obviously like a team that's right there that he wants to win for sure. But 2 minutes left. Cardinals. You guys have any other questions specifically about Cardinals? What do you think their biggest offseason question is?
Is James Conner okay? Didn't he get hurt at the end of the year?
I think so. I put as Kyler Murray a franchise quarterback in your opinion? I don't think he's ever
Yeah,
won a
I
playoff
think he
game.
is. He just
Yeah.
says their defense is so bad that they always give up like 28, 35 points a game. It seems like they just can't keep up ever.
It looked like they had some flashes last year of some of his, first couple years of greatness. But yeah, he needs some weapons. He needs a defense. Like I said, this whole division is just like, who really knows? It's a big question mark for me. Who's going to make a splash, signing? Are the Niners going to go all in? Are the Rams, I think, are going all in away from Cup? Seahawks definitely pivoting. Cardinals, they paid Murray not too long ago, I believe, so they
Yeah.
definitely believe in him.
Yeah.
That coach is still figuring things out, so
Yep.
we'll
All right.
see.
So any last words? We'll circle back for sure
Yeah.
this off
Monday
season.
will it'll be a fun week.
Yeah, Shabba and keep on schlabbing.
Yes. Enough
Hell yeah.
true words could be said.
Hell yeah.
Go Cowboys,
Shabba.
obviously,
2025 is
but
upon us.
I have
Oh,
little hope.
go
But go
birds.
Cowboys.
Go Houston. All right, Shabba.
All right.
Ciao.
Thanks everyone.
Yeah. See you guys later.